multi-award-winning musician and songwriter Pete Denahy from the gorgeous little town of Yakandanda in northern Victoria. If you haven't been there, go, because it's a great place to visit. He knew when he was 11 years old that he wanted to be a country singer. He taught himself to play guitar along with a couple of other instruments and started writing great songs. When he was 13, he saw Slim Dusty in concert for the first time, and 12 years later he was in Slim's band, playing fiddle and doing a comedy spot on the show. While he has written some ridiculously funny songs, he is no stranger to composing a heart-wrencher too. But he is fully aware that his songs about insects and toilet paper do hold special places in the hearts of his fans, me included. His latest single, Photos on Your Phone, that I played just a minute ago, is yet another great example of Pete's amazing talent as a songwriter and musician, and I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that it's destined to be his next huge success. Certainly it'll be getting some serious airplay on this show. Excuse me. Pete is 5 times Golden Guitar winner and is obviously delighted to have won 3 of those awards for his fiddle playing. Something that has kept him employed for many years. As well as working as a sideman and guest artist for Slim, he has done the same for Sarah Storer, Troy Cassadaly and Lee Kernaghan, some of this nation's biggest country music drawcards. As well as being a talented artist and musician in his own right, I was surprised to learn that Pete is also adept at leatherwork. I guess everyone needs a hobby, right? I was also interested to read that Pete takes 2 trips a year to Japan with Australian music fans to explore the bluegrass and country music scene there. In Japan, who would have thought? Something I found quite fascinating. Anyway, I'm privileged to have Pete waiting patiently on the phone, waiting to have a chat with me. So let's bring him on air without any further ado. Hello, Pete. How you going?
Oh, Harry, thanks very much. I found that quite interesting, hearing about myself there.
No less so than I.
Oh, well, no, it's lovely to be here, mate, and thanks very much for your support. Really appreciate that.
Oh, mate, you're welcome. And look, welcome to the Country Club. It's the first time I've had you on the show. I hope it's not the last. But look,
me too.
Well, you can look forward to another great intro next time. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's the draw card. All right, now let's talk about your song, Photos on Your Phone. I looked at the acoustic version on YouTube, and I laughed. I laughed so much.
Yeah.
I mean, the expression on your face says it all.
Yeah, I hadn't. I think when I put that up, I hadn't long written it.
Okay.
When I put it on YouTube and Facebook, and then I suppose it's like that with any song. You write them, and you want to see how they go when you play them live. So I had the opportunity to do that a few times, and not just with that, with a bunch of songs that I've written lately. So I've sort of got more coming in the near future. But
excellent.
With that song, I mean, it was just something that really is just written from sort of my point of view initially, is that sort of, oh no, he's pulling the phone out, I don't want to look at these photos. And then, how when, and I thought, how much of this is just me? But when I wrote the song and I started playing it in front of people, and they all responded, and they're pointing to, oh, that's you, go, oh, that song's written about me. Because you realise that I'm not the only one. Like, when people pull out their phone to show me something, 99% of the time, I'm only pretending that I'm interested. And I think most people are the same, So, and I'm glad that that song resonates with people because... And I've written it from a positive spin. Like, if you just read the lyrics without hearing the song, perhaps you wouldn't... I think by the time you get to the last verse, you probably would, but the rest of it's... I've written it from the... I really want to see these photos. Keep going with it, please. It's just so interesting.
It's a little tad that gets me.
Yeah, so So anyway, it's just one of those things where you finish it and you think, oh, I wonder how this will go. But no, well, it's gone all right live. So
I reckon it's great.
I'll record it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it resonates with people. It certainly resonates with me, I can tell you.
Yeah, well, look, we've all done. I mean, the thing that with me now that's happened since I wrote it is that I can't show anybody anything on my phone ever again. I can't be singing that song and then saying, "Oh, hang on, just for now, I want you to have a look at this." So.
I don't. Look, I'm a grandfather and. Well, a great-grandfather one time. But, I don't know how many times I've been tempted to drag my phone out and say, have a look at this. But, yeah, I've resisted the temptation.
And why wouldn't you? It's the new, it's the photo album of today, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But there are, I guess, there are some people that will do it every time you're with them.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually not always just photos either. It can be a funny video they found on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, I have zero interest in looking at someone else's phone. I think we all spend enough time looking at our own without having to peer at other people's. But
yeah.
But that's just part of today's world, isn't it? Like who would have thought 20 years ago that the whole, not just kids now, everybody spends way too much time looking at these things. And I guess that's why, like my wife and I, whenever we go out for a coffee or go for lunch or go somewhere where we're sitting down for a meal or a cup of coffee or whatever, our rule is no phones on the table because it's just such, and we go, oh, well, you see couples sitting there opposite each other. Once upon a time would have been talking, but now they're both scrolling. It's a real sort of it's an epidemic that I don't think it. I don't think it's good for people. I don't. I think. Here I'm getting on the soapbox now, Harry. I don't do that too much. But like social media, I guess it's just such a. There's so much good about it, but there's probably more that can be really harmful, and especially when you're looking at stuff and everybody's life is better than yours.
Indeed, you're quite right, and you're right about the social aspects of mobile phones. I mean, they're just ubiquitous now. Everyone's got one. Well, who's got a landline now?
Well,
exactly. I mean, we don't use ours. I don't remember the last time our landline even rang. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's great to have a mobile in your pocket. You might be in trouble out in the bush somewhere or whatever, and if you've got a couple of bars on your phone, so there's good and bad. But I agree with you. It can be a bit abused. So anyway, look, let's get back to your song. Did you? Now, I'm assuming you wrote that yourself, or was it a co-write?
Yep.
Okay. And we've gone through the inspiration. I think we've covered that. So tell us just quickly, where can people buy your music?
Well, this one is this song is just a digital release, so it's not.
Okay.
It's not one really that's for sale. So it's on all musical platforms now.
Okay.
And it's so you can. It's on YouTube and iTunes and Spotify and all that. So so I mean, if you've got a subscription to any of them, you don't really have to buy it. I'm at this point, I'm not planning on putting it on a CD, Harry, just because CD sales have sort of gone out for the last few years. I've got a few CDs left to take to Tamworth, but most people now, are just going digital, and there's no CD players in new cars. So
no.
So at this stage, it's just a digital release. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, listen. Getting back to that YouTube clip of the song that I was talking about, the acoustic version.
Yep.
I was interested in, because I'm a guitar player myself. I was interested in the guitar you were playing, and I have to ask, is that a Martin?
No, it's built by Joe Gallagher from Albury.
Oh, okay.
But good observation though, Harry. I forget which guitar. I've got two of Joe's.
Uh-huh.
So I've got, but they're based on a Martin, a Dreadnought guitar. So it's I've got two of his guitars. I've got a mahogany with a spruce top, a mahogany back and sides with a spruce top, and I've got a rosewood back and sides with a spruce top. So the rosewood's like a D28 and the mahogany's like a D18. And they're beautiful guitars.
They are. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so these hand-built by Joe Gallagher. If any guitar nuts in your audience there, want to check out Gallagher Guitars online. And
sure.
And indeed, get onto my Facebook page and push the like so you can see all these incredibly boring videos that I put up. I had a guy last night at a gig say, you haven't done an extremely boring phone call for a while, because I was doing them. Okay. And so I'll have to put one up shortly. Okay. People who have already seen them will know what I mean. But
Yep.
But yeah, those guitars there, all my instruments are sort of hand built. The ones that I play regularly at gigs. So I've got two fiddles made by an old bloke called Gene Horner out of Knoxville in East Tennessee, and good handmade hand-built banjo by Laurie Grundy, and
Laurie, yeah.
Nice mandolin built by Ray Black from Torquay.
The first I met Laurie at the Whittlesea show a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I managed to score an interview with him. I recorded it on my phone. Geez, what an interesting guy! And I looked him up on the web, and geez, he makes some nice looking banjos. Yeah. I'm a dreadful banjo player. Okay.
That banjo I've got of his is way too much banjo for me, but it's a beautiful instrument. So it was interesting to learn that his banjos are in high demand. Apparently, some of the best banjos players in the US have got them. But anyway, let's continue on with your business. I want to talk to you about this leatherwork stuff. Yep.
I don't know if you're interested in it, but you're making whips.
Yeah, that's something that I've done since I was a kid.
My missus would love to talk to you.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, just plaiting in general. Like, so, when I was about 10 or 11, I got an interest in horses simply because I'd watched The Man from Snowy River and getting. I just wanted a horse, and I was pestering Mum and Dad. Can I get a horse? And finally got one, and then we started going to a few camp drafts. And Mum and Dad weren't horsey at all, and not into country music or anything, So and then we started going to camp draft, this local camp draft, and I thought to myself, well, I better start listening to some country music, and I got handed the Slim Dusty 50th anniversary. Album, and I just fell in love with Slim. So that is as simple as that. How I got interested in country music, and then through that, of course, through the camp drafting and the mixing with like that community where there's stock whips involved and everything. I wanted a stock whip. And, I remember I got a stock whip for maybe my 11th birthday or something like that, and of course I thrashed the hell out of it over the next 12 months, and I broke it, and then I tried to repair it and everything, and then I thought I'd really like to start plaiting my own.
Right.
And for my 12th birthday I got a book called Australian Leatherwork. It was like 12 books in one, written by a bloke called Ron Edwards, the late Ron Edwards. He lived up near Cairns. Marvellous pen-drawn diagrams of how to plait and cut out leather and all, and he just documented it so well. So that's what started it for me. And then I got to know a lot of whip makers over the years, and I probably don't plait as much now, although I am plaiting. I plait little eight-strand bracelets to take around as merchandise.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, still plait the odd stock whip, and I'm really interested now. There's some really good Instagram channels on South American braiding, which is probably the best stuff in the world. And so that really interests me. It's a lovely craft, and I guess the Australian stock whip is probably the best cracking whip, I'd say, in the world, because there's snake whips and bull whips that have got a very short handle, but a stock whip's got quite a long handle, and you get a lot of leverage on it, and they're probably the best for cracking, I'd say, but if they're well balanced and everything. So, yeah, it's... But I've got, a bunch of rolled up kangaroo hide down in my shed there, and
cool.
I get the pocket knife into it every now and then and cut a bit of lace out and platter up. So.
Nice. So, do you make guitar straps? I mean, that would be an obvious one.
Oh, I have, but my guitar strap is it's just a strip of red hide with a hole in each end. There's nothing flat at all. So it just holds and. That is actually the only. I should make myself a nice strap, but no, it's just a strip of leather with a hole in each end that's non-adjustable.
As long as it does the job, mate.
It does the job. It stops the guitar dropping on my boots, so holds my Gallagher guitars up, so that's all right.
Fair enough. All right, that's all it needs to do. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's just got to work.
That's right. Yeah, I did get it. I got a nice, beautiful. Guitar strap made for me actually a few years ago. I bought a saddle off a bloke up in New South Wales, and he'd seen on the Facebook page that I played music, and he sent me down this beautiful strap, and I've mislaid it somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is, and so I'm just back to the strip of leather. Okay.
Well, like I said, if it does the job, use it.
Does the job, yep.
Doesn't have to be fancy. Now, I'm really fascinated. Well, I'm fascinated about just about everything to do with you. But this bluegrass and country in Japan. Now, if someone had said, go to Japan because they're great on bluegrass and country, I would have laughed in their face. But apparently, it's a thing. So,
yep. Well, it's a lot of people have that exact reaction, and I can understand that because it's not something you'd think would happen over there. But so the connection for me, the personal connection, is I'm half Japanese. My mum's from Hiroshima, and she lives in Yakandanda now. But that's the sort of connection for Japan for starters. And then I'd made a few friends on. This is the good side of social media, on Facebook, some musicians over there in 2013. I said, I'm coming over, I'd love to play, and blah, blah, blah. And made some friends there, got a few shows lined up when I was there, just sort of really low-key sort of stuff.
Okay.
Made a few good friends, and then I ended up taking some tours over there, which I still do. And once you're there and you see the people play, you realise it's just another bunch of people like us who like that music.
All right.
You can go to Japan. If I was into blues music or old-time rock and roll or Irish music or jazz or something,
really?
There are groups over there that play the music so well.
Yeah.
I've been to Irish sessions in Tokyo where you shut your eyes and you hear the concertina players, fiddle players, whistle players, and you hear them, you go, you could be sitting in a pub in Killarney,
No way.
And the same with the bluegrass.
Yeah.
Probably the thing that gives it away a bit sometimes is when they're singing, the pronunciation of certain words. But, but they do really well. So there's some great, really good players who love their instruments, who are very interested in their instruments, the bluegrass guys. And then the country fellas, like there's an old bloke called Charlie Nagatani who plays down at Kumamoto. He's got a honky-tonk in Kumamoto, on the island of Kyushu. That's been going nearly 50 years. Year after next, it'll be 50 years of Charlie there. He's played the Grand Ole Opry about 29 or 30 times.
Oh, fair dinkum.
And he started playing country music in 1956, so that's only 11 years after the bombs were dropped.
Yeah, right.
And he's embracing sort of, a big, a very popular style of American music, which is extraordinary, And, and Japan's taken on baseball and a lot of things about American.
Yeah, well, America.
But the country music, like you go to Tokyo, and I've shared the stage there with some, for instance, some really good pedal steel players.
Okay.
You go, man, these guys are just fantastic, and you start playing with them, and the whole language barrier goes out the window because my Japanese is very, very rudimentary. It's not that great. It gets a little bit better each time I go, but it's not great.
Konnichiwa. That's
yeah, I can say that.
That's about all I can say.
But once I started playing with them. The first trip that I did in 2013, I thought, this is fantastic. We're all talking the same language here, and we knew the songs, playing the same songs that we knew, whether it's Australia or Japan, the bluegrass stuff, and it was terrific. And the groups that I take over are sort of, that blows them out. I guess they say, where'd you find this venue?
These
places. But I just I found the people, and they take me to these places. So it's terrific.
Yeah, right.
And I've been over quite a few times now, so I sort of, in some areas, I know my way around quite well. In the areas we go to. But it's a beautiful, safe, clean, quite cheap country, actually, now.
So I understand,
Against the dollar's pretty good.
Yeah. The dollar to the yen is in our favour,
Yeah.
I was in a band once with a Japanese drummer. Geez, he was good. Oh, yeah, I'll never forget him. He was great. Anyway, look, we're out of time, unfortunately, Pete. I'd love to keep chatting with you.
Lovely talking to you, Harry.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it, mate. This has been such a good conversation. I wish we could keep going with it. But just quickly, before we sign off, what's next for you? You got an album coming up? You got any festivals, whatever?
I'm just recording. I'll be recording songs in, sort of in 3 or 4 month increments. So you'll probably get another one before too long.
Beautiful.
Tamworth's the next big thing for me. So heading up there in January and then we've got the Slim Dusty band back together, and we're doing a Queensland tour in February, March. So looking forward to that as well. Yeah, I read that. That's good news. That is great, and I'm glad to see that you're involved in it. That's terrific. It's terrific. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. We all toured with Slim, so yeah. It was it's nice. It's a lovely reunion every time we play. Yeah, and it's a good way to keep or to remember Slim. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Because Joy's gone now, so sadly, so And we lost Heather McKean just the other day too. Oh no, really? From the McKean sisters, yeah. Yeah, the Joy's sister, yeah. So she was a gorgeous person, and she's gone now too. So. Oh well, none of us are here forever, mate. Yeah. Alrighty. Look, thank you so much, Pete, for taking the time to have a chat with me on your Sunday afternoon. Thank you, Harry. I really appreciate it, mate, and all the best. Have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you in the new year. Looking forward to it, mate. Very, very much so. And, same to you. Have a great Christmas, to all. Thanks a lot, Harry. Will do. No worries, mate. Look after yourself and, take care of the people you care about. God bless. Thanks a lot. See ya. All right, mate. See ya.